Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing Monday with the Watertown Oswego SBDC, where we talk about marketing every Monday. And today's topic, continuing with the Gen Z conversation. Thanks, guys, for joining us. But before we get started, Liz, what's going on with the SBDC?
Oh, so much, Nicole. And not only do we have this Marketing Monday series with our incredibly wonderful interns, two of the three anyway, we have two more cybersecurity, our little mini series. I'm pretty sure that's trademarked by NBC or something, but that's okay. I'm appropriating it. So our mini series on cybersecurity I'm sorry, not ends, but continues this week, Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon. I'll be on with Erica Davis from our office and a cybersecurity consultant from Syracuse, Mike Davis, no relation to Erica Davis. And I know, right? She promised. And then we're following that up with a more intensive deep dive into cybersecurity from a company called Govology. You can look at them, GOVOLOGY.com. They are disabled service veteran owned company, and they do some great trainings, and we have one going on right now from them about getting contracts with the federal government, but we're going to be opening up the cybersecurity one that starts September 5th. It ends October 8th, and it's pretty intense. So if you have a New York State-based tech company or anything where you're really worried about the integrity of your data or your client's data, check it out. It's going out in our newsletter. The registration link is going out in our newsletter today. And if you're not on our newsletter list, where have you been? SBDC at SUNYJefferson.edu, and we will add you just like that.
Amazing. And it's the same email, so it's a good one to write down, where you can get a free consult with the SBDC. So
yes, it is.
All good things unlocked with that email address. So yeah, cybersecurity is super important. People can really take your data. So Zach and Jordan are here with us today to talk more about Gen Z. And last time we talked a little bit, basically we talked about sort of preferences. We talked about, how you like to say, whether you'd scan a QR code or not, or how you listen to music. These ones are very much more business oriented. So if you are a business owner and you want to ask a question, type it in to wherever you're watching this now as a comment, and we'll be able to see it. And just to make sure, because sometimes Facebook's a little weird with permissions, if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and you just enable it one time, and you'll be able to leave a comment. But if your profile is a little private, sometimes we can't see the comment because of the way Facebook works. So if you just enable it one time, post it, we'll be able to see it during the broadcast. So if you've had a question you've always wanted to ask Gen Z, now's your time. So I'm calling this the section that we didn't get to last week. This is the part 2. I'm calling consumer preferences. I didn't know what else to call it. So question number 1, you're buying something local. Would you rather have it delivered, or would you rather have it available for pickup when you go to the store?
Ooh.
So I would actually rather have it for pickup. I like traveling to the business or traveling somewhere to pick it up, and to be honest, I'm not really home a lot either, because I'm just, I'm out living life. And I just feel like having it ready for pickup, there's no restraints of having to be home to take it, or just having to have that obligation. I can just go pick it up whenever, but also while I'm there, maybe there's something else that sparks my eye that I might want to add on to that purchase.
So I definitely prefer pickup options. First of all, there's a lot that can go wrong with the delivery. A lot. Also, on top of that, when you talk about food and stuff like that, if you have lunch and you have 30 minutes for lunch, if you can go get something to pick up and then, still have time for that. If there's any business that does pickup, it can be extremely convenient because it only takes a few seconds out of your time. You just got to pull right up to the store, go to wherever they do the pickups, and be on your way. It's a time saver.
Yeah. What about you, Liz? If you have to have it delivered or ready to pick up, what are you preferring?
Well, nobody delivers where I live, so there's that. But also, I think, I guess I would rather pick it up myself, and unless it's the size of, a washing machine. And I do have a pickup truck, but if we didn't have a pickup truck, that would be hard. So some of it depends on the practicality of it. But also, I think then there's that picking it up kind of negates the whole tipping awkwardness, which we have become a very tip awkward society. It used to be you tipped the server in the restaurant, your hairdresser. I don't know. I think that was about it. Now, I think it's a lot different. And I don't know about Gen Z, but I certainly have tipping anxiety when I have to figure out what do I tip someone and when. So
there was a very good point commented. The pickup is usually free, or it is free like all the time. Delivery, there usually comes with a fee or, a charge.
Right. Yep. And I'm not saying if I pick up food from a restaurant, I don't throw a couple bucks at the person who, tallies it up for me and brings it out to the bar where I pick it up or whatever. But at the same time, it's different than they come to your house. So yeah, that's a great point. Thank you for posting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good point. Plus, I don't know about you, but especially when I lived alone, something about some weird dude potentially knowing my address was always a little bit.
Yeah.
So it feels like can be a bit of a safety thing. And I also live in the middle of nowhere and nobody delivers here.
Sitting in a car with a stranger for a good period of time. And I used to work in pizza delivery too. They'd give you like 3 orders or even sometimes 4 orders. So like if I wouldn't get to the last one until,
right.
So like 45 minutes into that drive.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Hey, look at us. We all agreed on this one. I was not expecting that. Okay. So now next one is about customer loyalty. And so I know that I'm always as a business owner, getting pitched programs about like how I can build customer loyalty and how it's built in with things. Or I go somewhere and it's like, text this code and you'll get 100 points and then you can use the points to order stuff. How do you what makes you interested in signing up for some kind of loyalty program?
I think I'm actually a huge fan of the loyalty programs. I mean, usually a lot of them are like, you spend a certain amount of money or you buy a certain amount of things and you get one free. I mean, who doesn't love free stuff? It drags you back in there, whether you want to or not, or whether you're realizing it or not, because you're looking forward into that free product. And then as a customer, you got a free product and you feel appreciated because you go there often and you spend your money there.
I feel as a lot of loyalty programs, they're happy that you're in there spending your money and it makes you feel appreciated. So there's a small business that does kind of like a loyalty program. They have punch cards and things like that. And so after I think it's like 12 or 13 punch cards, you get like a free drink or a free whatever. But it also just it just makes you feel appreciated. Every time they come in, they always, just like thanks for coming in. It just makes you feel appreciated more than anything. So, and when you're shopping somewhere, especially somewhere local, it makes you feel, it's good to feel appreciated, that you came in and, are helping them make their business successful.
So let me be the wet blanket for a minute. I'm really good at that. I'm old, so that helps. So what you both described are programs that resonate with you because they're products that you want. If you are, I think about our local grocery chain here, Tops, or one of our local grocery chains. If you spend grocery dollars there, you get points off or cents off a gallon of purchasing gas. But you have to live near a Tops gas station. When my daughter was in college in Ithaca, she had a Tops there, and she went there, and she always used our phone number or our little key fob, and we benefited from all the groceries purchased with her and her 2 roommates for her last 2 years of college. And so it was great. Like, we were getting $1 off a gallon of gas every time you turned around. But we have a gas station right in Sandy Creek in my town. If there are no gas stations where Rosie was, and So the only reason she did that was because she knew we were benefiting. Otherwise, she wouldn't have even bothered probably to put her phone number in. So, there has to be this payoff, this cost benefit analysis, and it can't be too complicated or, oh, you have to have your punch card. Like at one time, I think I had 10 punch cards from Ruger's Bagels in Syracuse, like floating around my purse, my car, So how do you offer a cohesive solution to consumers? I think that's the challenge for businesses.
You gotta gauge it good too. Like you said, it's got to be something that you want to actually work towards. I have numerous businesses that I have punch cards for that I have like 4 of each one, just because I don't care enough about the end goal to bring that time, remember it every time, walk up with it, have them stamp it. And the best ones give you an option though. There's a few around here that give you like an option, like, oh, you have this many points, you can get whatever. You can get whatever on this line or whatever out of this alignment.
I will say it helps when they track it for you. So my dog gets the bougie dog food, and I get it at Agway. And when I buy 10 bags at $100 each, I get a bag for free. Or maybe it's 12. It's something like that. But they keep track of it for me. So I go in, they say, are you in the loyalty program? I say, yes. They say, okay, this is your 5th bag. So they're tracking it for me. And because of that, I always go in and I buy it there. I've never even priced it online. Like, I don't even know how much it would actually cost to ship it, because it's fine. It's on my way by and they're tracking it. But I'm like Liz, I struggle with the card ones. I would either like an app, or I would like, and remind me when I'm standing at the thing, like check your, text for your loyalty or something. Cause if it's somewhere on my phone or if it's digital, I'm going to remember it. But I just struggle because one thing I just refuse to do as an adult is get the mom wallet. So I have a very small wallet, and it gets full real easy. And so I have a stack of cards like sitting on my desk of just like, me too, like 4 coffees per card. Cause again, but I really track the dog food one, because that one's worth $120.
Right. like cents off the gallon of gas. Almost everybody uses gas, and everybody thinks it's too expensive. So even when it was $2.80 a gallon, we all thought it was too expensive. So you'll take 20 cents off a gallon because that's a tangible savings, and it's easy to use. Tops always, you can just scan your card, or they keep track of it on your receipt. It says 30 cents off, 40 cents off, whatever. So.
And it's kind of nice too that you can just, before they always used to ask like, what's a good phone number that you might have a rewards under. Now, most places you can just type it right on the keypad.
Yep.
And then your name pops up. You know what I mean? If you have it under that phone number.
Yeah,
totally. So, I guess our advice to a local business who wants to do this, really think it through. And make sure that the onus is not on the customer. The onus has to be on you as the business owner, or people are going to go, it's not worth it if I have to remember my card, or if it's only 25 cents off a sandwich or something. You have to make it worth the person's while to pay attention to the program.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be as simple as, if you do want to keep the regular old cards, you could get just a little box and keep it next to the cash register thing, and just keep your frequent people right there. That's what my old coffee shop used to do.
Yep.
Just, it can be a low tech solution, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yes, if you want to do points and stuff, that's great. But if you're like, oh, we just had a bunch of these cards printed, I don't want to get rid of them. Just finding a way to help customers keep track is really good. So now this next question, because I have multiple friends who run businesses where they have events, and when you're holding the event, you're kind of holding your breath because people don't sign up right away. And you're trying to like really get an idea of how many people are going to show up. How interested are people? So obviously we want to get people to maybe buy tickets or register ahead of time. And so I can only think of these 2 ways to incentivize it. If you can think of a different way that would incentivize you. So let's say there's an event coming up. So a lot of times I see people say, okay, if you buy the tickets before this time, they're $10 off or whatever, right? So that's one way to do it. But another way to do it is to give some kind of perk, like, oh, the first 100 people get a free t-shirt or something. Maybe there's something else, but like, what would motivate you to register for an event sooner rather than later?
I think, I mean, just about anything. Like if you said money off, you said free parking, you said merch, and then if you're going to sit there and justify it by saying, well, I was going to get it a month in advance anyway. First of all, I can plan it out, definitely. Second of all, I get something out of it that benefits me. So I mean, I think anything really in terms of, having to be something a little valuable, but a lot of things would probably motivate me to get them earlier.
So just speaking as the event planner or the event coordinator, or even the company, I feel like that would help a lot with gauging how many people are going to attend your event. So by offering that perk and having seeing how many people you get signed up, it kind of helps you gauge a little bit on how big your event is. So when you're going through the steps of planning your event, how big of a venue do you need? How big, how much food do you need from, if you're having it catered? Like, it just helps like gauge having, offering something like that.
So, okay, so let me give you a more specific scenario because, okay, so let's say there was a concert, like a local concert, and it was like $20 to go to it, right? If it was, I mean, $5 is, because I guess I see a lot of arts organizations be like, you get 10% off of concert tickets. And it's like, to me, it's like, that's fine. I guess if I want to go to the concert, I don't mind the difference between paying $20 and paying $18. You know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't matter that much to me. But if it's a larger ticket event, so if it was like, I don't know, a $200 conference and registration was $100 up until this date, it would have to be a pretty significant discount. It would have to be a pretty significant amount of money for me to do it ahead of time, unless there was something really cool that I could only get if I registered ahead of time. So like that would get me if it was like there was this cool like artwork or something that was being done by an artist in the community and I could get a print of it as part of my early registration. So I guess the money for me is less motivating than it is to get something kind of special, because the money is usually pretty negligible unless it's, like I said, a high ticket item. And if it's a $200 conference and I'm going to be getting a hotel and everything to go to it, then, I'm going to be planning ahead of time anyway. I don't know what you guys, if that kind of resonates with you or if you think differently about it.
I always liked, so a couple of events that like you register ahead for that I've gone to. So I've registered for an event and I get like entered into like these drawings, you know what I mean? Things like that are worth it, and it makes you feel, first of all, you're excited to go to the event. And second of all, it motivates you to, okay, register early and then go tell your friends to register early too, just so, just like things that are.
That's brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
The drawing. That's really interesting.
Yeah. A couple.
Yeah, Jordan, what you're describing. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Sorry.
What you're describing is sort of two things. It's ratcheting up interest in the event, and it's saving you money or adding status, so that when after the event you can wear the T-shirt, you can wear the hat, and so I think as a business owner you have to really think about what is my what's the term? What is the coin of the realm, right? Is it what am I offering? Is it this band is only going to be in upstate New York one time and it's going to be right here in Watertown, or this craft fair is always the weekend before Thanksgiving and everybody comes and does their holiday shopping, right? So what is the unique thing that sets your business apart, and how can you, as Jordan pointed out, get a twofer so that you're garnering interest and you're selling tickets? Like that's the thing, right? That's what you want to do as a business.
And I think a lot of businesses hesitate to hold events because they're sort of worried about people attending. And especially, I think post pandemic, people are like, okay, is there going to be another, health crisis, or are people going to really show up? And I think what we kind of need to do is give some people a reason to show up sooner rather than later. Because once you say, hey, 100 people have registered, oh, okay, like, that makes other people, I don't want to show up at an event and be one of like 5 people there. So yeah, so we got to give the people some incentive to sign up early, whether it's saving them money or offering them something or entering them in a drawing. I really like that idea actually too, because you don't have to, you can commit to drawing for five really awesome door prizes, but you don't have to give a door prize to every single person. That kind of mathematically works out better.
And you can use the door prizes to build excitement so that when Jordan and Zach get the email saying, check out this whatever picnic basket, which I'm sure wouldn't thrill a bunch of young people, but you know what I mean? Like that's something you can use at that event, right? A blanket to sit on or 2 lawn chairs that say something cool on them. Then you're going to be like, check it out. This is what you might win. Come on, register. Let's go to this. So,
you get like a signed album. Those always worked. I've seen that multiple times.
Yep.
And like 5 items that are very exclusive to the concert, or very personal that you couldn't get anywhere else would probably do.
Free tickets to like, sports games or, sports jerseys. That stuff always flies. It's exciting. It's something tangible that you get to take with you so you can remember that event that you went to forever.
I also have to put a pitch in here for doing stuff like, $5 off admission if you bring a thing for the food pantry or for the period products of the North Country, like that kind of stuff. And I think that's something that Gen Z is really into with their social consciousness and being young. And so, never underestimate the power of a great cross promotion. And if you look at our video library, you'll see that Nicole and Eric and I have had several conversations about this, but, pick something that resonates with the community that's neutral. Who's against a food pantry, right? Who's against a period products drive? So pick something that's neutral and then make sure that plays out in your advertising and your promotion.
Yeah, all really good ideas. So yeah, we gotta build the excitement about the event a little bit ahead of time if you want people to register ahead of time. And speaking of kind of hearing things and word of mouth, okay, so this is something I've always wondered too. So let's say you're considering buying a product, and I don't know, I always research, I don't know if you guys do too, in terms of recommendations or someone saying something, would you prefer, sort of a Google or a website recommendation, or do you want to hear somebody talking about the product on social media and like be like, hey, I bought this and this is how it works and that kind of thing? What holds more sway with you guys?
So absolutely, without a doubt, to me, it's word of mouth. I have realized through, customer service jobs that people express most of the time bad experiences. So if you go on Google reviews and stuff like that, it's going to be a lot of people who felt that they were angry and felt they had to do something to say about it. But I will suggest only great things to my friends. Like if I have a great experience at somewhere, I'll tell everybody that I know or tell anybody that I think would have be in a situation to need the same thing or something. But I definitely rank the word of mouth reviews over anything else for sure.
But would you rather?
It depends.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. There was a delay on my end and I accidentally cut you off. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, it depends. So if I'm researching a product, usually I am like extensive into the reviews on the website where I might buy the product or the brand of the product. And that's what helps me. That's what helps me make my decision. I look at both the positive and the negative reviews because it's funny. Sometimes with negative reviews, you can kind of like think deep into them and like, okay, so what was this person using this product for? Were they using the product for what it was made for, or something that was way over the top of what it should have been used for. So you can kind of like think about some of the reviews when you're doing a lot of like research with a product. Now, as for like places to visit and like restaurants, things like that, I prefer word of mouth and just like prefer to hear other people's experience and how, you know, if they've enjoyed it or if they haven't enjoyed it, just because you kind of get that warm feeling when you're talking to somebody and the good energy if it's a really good experience, because most people will tell you about the positive experience. I've always found with word of mouth that more than the negative experience. So that's just kind of what, going through talking to people, what I've found.
So I'm going to say, as the parent to a Gen Z child, and I'm going to say they dive right down the rabbit hole. They want to read everything and research everything about the product that they're thinking about buying, because you know how to do that research. And because as a generation, I think you're pretty, and I'm not talking about the 1%ers and the rich people, but I think you're pretty price conscious. So I think it's important to note that Gen Z will go to the ends of the earth to find the one person who wants to use that product in the same way they want to use it and learn more about it. And which is, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I just about for like everything I buy online or whatever, I'll definitely go to the Google reviews. Every restaurant I go to, I'll definitely go to Google reviews. I have to read it. It's more of like a reflex. But what I was getting at is that the word of mouth, that's something that would just completely, you know, make you go for that or whatever. Because if it's somebody you know and they're telling you good things about it, then it's probably going to be true. It's going to be a good experience.
The other thing, Nicole, I think Gen Z is really good at sussing out who's a paid Instagram shill and who's really like, I like this product because it worked for me.
Yeah, like TikTok.
You guys, yeah,
those they're paid.
Yeah.
And Liz, I liked what you brought up about Gen Z being price conscious, because that is so true. I always, so before I purchase a product, I always think about how I can get my full money's worth out of the product. That is something that's always right in the back of my head. And so like for example, if I'm buying a car, you know, I want it, you know, could I get my same money's worth out of, you know, a brand new car or a used car? You know what I mean? Like it's just it's just like weighing out the positives and the negatives and just making sure that you're getting your full money's worth.
Well, we also have tools for that. I have a browser extension on my computer that it'll literally show the different prices from every single website it has ever found it on. So I can see, you know, Amazon compared to Walmart, compared to Target, and it'll just show which one I'm getting the best value out of, even in terms, like it'll include shipping, it'll include everything to do with that, and the coupon codes if there's any.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a mastery of technology. I mean, that's great. That's making technology work for you. But I also think that you guys are, yes, you want to know who has the best deal, but then for ethical reasons, sometimes you make different choices.
Absolutely. There's a certain threshold I'll go above in spending more money for a company that uses that money more productively and more socially responsible.
And I know for me, it's kind of, if it's a big object, like I bought a freezer last week because I'm old now. I like just went on, you know, I read a bunch of online reviews because I was like, you know, I want this is a pretty expensive purchase, so I want to make a good decision. So I'm going to go on the Consumer Reports, the Wirecutter, you know, I'm going to read the reviews. And if someone's like, oh, you know, if a bunch of people just say, oh, this is smaller than I thought, I'm like, oh, great. I was going to put it in a small place anyway. Like, you know, like sometimes in the negative reviews, you see a trend and you can sort of, you know, go with that. But if it's something small, I will let myself be influenced. So if I am on Instagram and someone's like, look at how great this jacket is. It's waterproof, but I can pack it down this small. And like, you know, I don't know, use it, it has a phone charger and whatever, if it's something, and if it's a relatively small amount of money, I'm like, okay, like I don't mind doing that because, if it's like $50 or something, I'm like, okay, worst I've lost is like $50. So I guess I'm willing to be influenced by a random recommendation if the price point is small enough that if it isn't as amazing as I thought, then I don't feel completely duped. But if it is a big purchase, I will like scour the review websites and people, those people who write the really long reviews. I found a meme once and it was like, hey, thanks to all you people who write really long reviews. I don't write them, but I appreciate that you write them or something. Cause there's a certain percentage of the population that's pretty small who's doing all that mental load. And I appreciate that. So that's what I find in terms of my elder millennial buying habits is, but if I am at a restaurant, I check the Google reviews. And if everyone says the mango salad is great, I order the mango salad. Because to me, it's like people are really good about saying, oh, this is really good or whatever. And if I see it a few times, I'm like, yeah, this thing is probably pretty good. But yeah, so get good word of mouth online. There's some SBDC webinars that you can go check out where we talk about that. Yep. Now, I'm just looking. Okay. I'm just keeping an eye on the time because I want to make sure I ask you the best ones. Okay. So a lot of businesses have contests, and I've seen contests, and you guys probably have too, where it's like, do a backflip, create a 10-minute video, whatever, for like a $25 gift certificate drawing or something. And you're like, that's a lot of work for what you're going to give me. So if you guys were seeing a contest offered by a business and, you had to enter it, like, what are the kinds of things you feel like work well for contests? I put a couple of examples here of like, that you would upload a picture with a certain hashtag to enter a contest, or you would share it on social media to enter the contest. The only contest I've ever seen work where people have to edit a video is one of my friends in Maine ran this contest where you won a free wedding if you submitted a video as a couple. Yeah, but they paid for, venue, food. This was like a $25,000 situation. Yeah, I will create a 10-minute video for a potential of $25,000. But like, I find a lot of other small businesses, they want that content, right? But they don't want to pay a lot of money for it. So I'm curious if you've seen some good contests in the wild, or what would make you enter a contest.
For me personally, something that would make me enter a contest is if it's something fairly simple. I'm not huge on the posting, and advertising a company through my own stuff, but I'm also not, huge on posting in general. So that's kind of a personal thing. But I think it's something, for me, it's something simple, like scan this QR code, enter your name, bam, you're entered into the contest.
So for me, I always like the whole, post a picture, on your last visit, use this hashtag and win a chance for like a gift basket from a local artisan. There's a lot of, I've actually seen some contests where the business will go live and, talk about the contest and talk about how if you go on, use this hashtag on your next visit, then enter a chance to win, one of these local artisan baskets or something, like.
I like the simple ones too, like the comment on this post.
Yeah.
Comment on this post. That's pretty easy. It doesn't take much effort at all.
Right. It's just trying to engage with your customers and make sure that your customers are engaging with your business, with your social media, and just stopping in.
I think in terms of getting a lot of following on social media, what a really good one is follow and comment on this post, or follow, like, and comment on this post. Mm-hmm. That way, or even the repost is not a terrible idea, because then you're getting a lot of people outside of who actually follows you to interact with that, to follow your page, and they have to follow your page if they want to enter for something free.
And one thing too that I just want to put out there, for a small business owner, make sure when you do a contest, make sure it's for something that's not like, that doesn't sound impossible. I've seen contests before where they're like, oh, comment and like this post and enter to win I don't know, a $10,000 stay somewhere. And it's like, okay, is that real, or is it or is there some kind of catch? Because as Gen Z, that's something that's always in our head. Well, at least my head is, if I see something that looks too good to be true, I'm always like, okay, so what's the catch? Where's the catch? The word free to me doesn't mean free. It means free with a catch,
Right.
So it's just make sure whatever contest you're doing, make sure it's within reason. It's not so extravagant where it just sounds way too good to be true, because that turns people away,
So the investment that you make has to be equitable to the reward, right? Because when it's like enter to win a free house, you're like, okay, well, first of all, 87 bazillion people are going to enter, and second of all, is the house really free? And what about the taxes? And so I think those you have to assess your investment, whatever it is. Years ago, I worked for a manufacturing company, and we had an in-house art department, and the owner was always trying to get the art director to like, let's do a contest. I want to see what young designers think. And she would always be like, no, design contests, getting people to invest their time, money, and effort into creating a new logo or color scheme or what have you. People who have real talent will not enter. And the people who enter will disproportionately expect something that you cannot deliver. So, just for any nonprofits out there or small businesses, really think about any sort of a contest where people have to do a lot, not just here's your email address, whatever. Those can be detrimental. And also, I think it's important to remember, Gen Z knows this better than anybody. Your email is sacred. People hold those things tight, and they have they have several, like they have a super junk email and a kind of junk email, and then a real email that you send for job applications and emailing your siblings and that kind of stuff. So, just be aware as a business, you may be getting tons of email addresses, but I know I have a junk one. I couldn't even tell you what the password is. So there's only one device I can use it on because I don't remember what I even put for a password. So, anyway.
Yeah, I think asking people to put in the amount of work that's proportional to the value of the thing is really important. And, and I will say I've been asked to do spec work, which were, free work. I've been asked to do it twice, and it's never turned into, I've done it twice just to humor the person, and it's never turned into anything good. So, so just if you're going to run a contest, also make sure a lot of people don't know this. Every social media website has contest rules. Like Facebook has 8 pages of contest rules. Like, I think when you said like you have to follow and then like it and then I feel like that's against the rules for at least one of those websites. I can't remember which one, but I always check. And if you're not sure, if you're running a contest on social media, a lot of them have apps. There are apps specific for like running contests on Facebook and things like that. So if you want people, for example, to get one entry, and then you want this group of entries for people to be able to vote or whatever, the app will manage that. And even if it is $100 for a month, at least if you're using the app that it's following all the guidelines. So I will say, like, if you're going to do something like that, just make sure you're following the rules, because they do have rules on contests, more than you would think.
Right. And so does the state, so does your county, and possibly your town. Some years and years ago, some religiously affiliated organizations got in big trouble for their bingo games. I mean, it was kind of a joke, but there are things you can do with so-called legal gambling, and there's things it doesn't matter if you think you got the big person on your side there. They're not going to let you do it. So really, if you're thinking about a contest, look and see what the local and state regs are, because the state has an interest, or the county, in not people not getting ripped off. So, or having everything sold. Like, I don't know about you guys, but at my work email, it seems like every Monday when I log in, I have more junk from somebody sold my. So, like, I can just watch the progression of it, and so that makes me even less or more reluctant to get out my email address. So,
yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna jump because I made a value section because I really wanted to, because I know that, so it has to do a little bit with business, but so it's a little rapid fire, and I get that, by the way. I'm going to give you an either or scenario. They're both important, but I guess I'm wondering, as a Gen Z person, like what you feel like is important to you. So you're supporting a cause. Are you sure you signed the petition, right? Like, I don't know. I always sign the petition, like if I support it. But in terms of like supporting the cause further than that, would you prefer to share the petition to your social media audience, or would you rather support the organization potentially with a small recurring donation?
It's, I mean, sharing a petition kind of seems like you're more involved with it. It kind of seems like you're more into it than just giving money towards the donation. So I guess if you want to be more involved, I would take more pride in sharing the petition than just giving money toward it and then not doing anything else.
So I'm a little in the middle with this one, but I'm going to talk first about the small recurring donation. So I feel like, donate to a cause. It's one of those like good deeds. You feel like it's a good deed. You're like, oh, okay, I help, or I donated to this organization that helps animals, who get lost in the wild, or who aren't doing very well in the wild. Like, it's just one of those good deeds you feel with doing the donation. Now sharing the petition, going off of what Zach just said, if you share the petition, sometimes people think you're involved. So that leaves it open to people asking you questions about the petition, or exactly what is this petition for? What is the goal that you're trying to achieve by signing this petition? Well, if you're just sharing it, you may not know the end goal. So it's questions that people, so people are asking you questions, and you may not exactly know. They may think you're the one to ask questions to.
Well, it's putting yourself out there. And saying, I support this cause, I believe in this, as opposed to here's $5 a month behind the scenes. So it's, they're both costing you in different ways.
That's why I think if it's something you're passionate about, then share the petition. If it's something that you just feel for, just do a donation.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. Okay. So my next one is Gen Z cares about the environment. I know I do too. Mm-hmm. If a company cares about the environment, are they going to talk more about their sustainable packaging when they send something to you, or more about how they source the stuff to make their products? Ooh. I know they're both important, and I know I'm putting you in a bit of an impossible thing, but I'm always curious kind of what the perception is as to which one's more important.
I'm going to go with the sustainable products, or the sustainable sourcing, because I think that takes a lot more effort than it does just to get sustainable packaging. I mean, just to source the box itself and maybe the tape or whatever, labels, whatever you're going to use to call it green and environmental friendly. I think it's going to take a lot more effort to do the sourcing, because I think that company is going to be a lot more socially conscious than one that's just doing the packaging. Because nowadays the packaging, I mean, kind of seems a little bare minimum at this. I mean, if it's just the packaging.
I'm gonna have to go with Zach, with the whole sustainable sourcing. So to me, I get interested to know how this product was made, where the product was made, maybe knowing a little bit of background of the factory, of what made it great. Are they using all kinds of chemicals and stuff that's not good for the environment while they're making the product, or are they not? I mean, packaging. So the packaging, it's kind of hard to like worry about that because there's so many different ring arounds now with packaging. So like, for example, something neat, going back to like straws, so they have these straws out here that look like plastic straws, but they're really made of corn actually. So like, but that's cool and all, but is corn the only thing in it? Is there chemicals that are put into that? So it's just, I don't know. I think knowing how your product is made is more important.
Well, I think that because we're also used to recycle, at least in New York State, we bring bottles and cans back for a nickel. Most towns have recycling programs for different types of plastic and paper and metal and tinfoil, and one local business even has a paint recycling program now, which I think is really cool. But less stuff in the landfill. So I think what I hear you both saying is that the packaging is nice. It's the gift wrapping. It's on the outside, but what's inside matters more. And we're also used to looking at like a shampoo bottle, and if there wasn't a number 2 PETE stamped on the bottom, we'd all be shocked. Like, seriously, what do you mean? But when you look deeper into the practices, are they testing on animals? Is it made in the U.S. or North America or a Western country? What's the does it contain sulfites and all that kind of stuff? So I think you're displaying your Gen Z savvy, which is just because you say, oh look, it's recyclable, but what if what's in it is toxic? You guys think like that, and I think it's really cool that you think beyond, because recycling has been the norm your whole lives. You didn't have to learn to do it. It's part of the deal. So you look beyond the little sustainability triangle there and into the reality of it. So I think that's really neat.
Yeah, totally. I fell for a Facebook ad a few years ago, and it was like they were free leggings, but you paid for the shipping and the sustainable whatever. And I was one of those. It was $25, and I was just like, okay. And then I got emails forever. They're like, we're making the leggings. Oh, here's a picture of the factory. Look how happy everyone is. Yeah, we pay a living wage. And I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, I. So I was more thinking, okay, I wouldn't mind paying $25 knowing that these women in this factory are getting paid sustainably, but I could not care about a $25 like sustainable box. But I will say we did talk about packaging in a previous SBDC broadcast. There was, they make now water activated tape, so you can securely close a package without using plastic. Anyway, so check out that packaging video if anybody watching wants to learn more about that. But yeah, this is such an interesting. Okay, and this is my last thing, because you also as generation care about diversity. Me too. Mm-hmm. So if a company says we care about diversity, there's policies that like maybe they hire a certain amount of their workforce is from is BIPOC or something like that. There's a diversity policy on the website, or diverse representation in the marketing. Again, they should be doing both, but like, which one to you communicates a bigger commitment to diversity?
I would say definitely in the marketing campaigns, because I feel like we're at the point where you don't need to tell us that you don't have to say we have a diversity policy, because everybody should. This should be a complete now. So I want you to show me. Actions speak louder than words for 100%. If you tell me that, that's fine. I already assumed that, but I want you to show me that you're actually putting that policy into action.
And just to add on to what Zach said, because that was exactly my thoughts. I think it's important too, as a company or an organization, that you you are showing different ways, how you have the diversity policies going on in your business. So for example, I think like companies who market like some of the religious holidays and things like that, on their Facebook page, or say, I'm just trying to think of one, happy, I can't think of one right now off the top of my head, but we're just recognizing, all these different religious holidays going on, and even some too that kind of describe it a little bit, just so people, are aware, just creating awareness.
I think it really plays to your strengths too. I mean, we'll look at as an example, like a swimwear company. All right. If they market diversity, like in terms of everything, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of, size, physique, anything, you're going to see yourself, or somebody like you, you're going to be like, oh, well, that they're wearing that. Well, I think I'll look good in that. I saw myself in it, basically.
Yeah. So I think from my perspective, and we were just discussing this last week with Jordan and Zach and I, authenticity is what matters.
Yes.
So they're grinning because we had a good example, which we won't get into. But if you are using stock pictures, make sure they look like people who shop at your store. If you are a store for plus size women, don't show size 2 models in your stock photos, right? If you are promoting an event in Watertown, don't put 95% majority people of color in your ad, because guess what? We all know that's not the case. And Gen Z is, again, savvy, sussing that stuff out. They can smell an inauthentic rat from 500 paces, and don't forget it. Any business that forgets that, because then they think it becomes a joke to them. Their business, like, oh, yeah, like, right, like they sell that stuff. Come on. Or I love the ones of people in restaurants, and you know how people dress around here. We live in rural America, right? I don't wear 3-inch heels and a dress and nylon stockings to go out to dinner. Nobody does, even the wealthy people. So you have to be realistic, and Gen Z is really, really good at finding the realistic and the authentic.
And just going off that a little bit, Liz, one thing that I do, and like when I go to a place, I always like take a mental picture of it. You know what I mean? I'm always like, okay, so the ad that I saw for this place, compared to, how it is where I am now, was that real? Was that not real? Like when it's not real, it's kind of heartbreaking in a way, because you were expecting to see, go to this place that has this big painting on the wall, or, that has, this cool environment. And then you go and you're like, well, it's not really as cool. Was that real? Was that not real? And now too, we have these at our fingertips too, right in your pocket. You can pull it out. You can pull up that ad and say, this is real, or okay, this is cool. This is real, and this is how,
And that translates into something as simple as, in the off season, your restaurant, take down your summer menu, right? You're not going to have mixed berry salad and whatever. Take down your summer menu and be honest about, hey, it's tourism is slower now. Everybody's staying home and getting tucked in because it's getting to be winter. So we don't have a salad of the day every day. We have our 3 basic salads, and that's what we have. So make sure that your retail store doesn't say stock swimsuits, and we have a full selection of swimsuits in January, because some people might show up there thinking, hey, I'm going away on vacation, I need a new swimsuit. So that's it can translate in a lot of ways, but make sure the goods and services that you're offering to Gen Z are what they are, because there's nothing worse than sitting down in a restaurant and having them go, oh no, we're not using that menu anymore. And you're like, oh, seriously? People can understand being out of an item. Okay, you don't have any more of the farro salad. Okay, I get it. But, oh no, we're not using that entire menu anymore. people don't like that. They don't forgive that. So.
Yep. All right. And to close out this broadcast, I have a rapid fire round.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. So 1, not at all important. 10, really important. Okay. So just the first thing that comes to your mind.
8. Definitely 8.
I'm gonna go with 8.
Liz?
Ooh, I'm going to go with the 6. Value versus cost.
9.
9. All right.
9.
Okay.
10.
10.
10.
8.
I'll go with the 10 also.
I'm gonna go with an 8 on this one.
Nothing wrong with that.
See, I'd say 0 because I don't trust a lot.
Oh, yeah. 7 for me.
10.
10.
10.
10.
10. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 9.
Yeah, I'll say 9, maybe even an 8 because,
8.
again, you can't buy everything local. Well, around here, we can't buy everything local. And sometimes it's exhausting trying to find, we always said at the SBDC when we were doing before Nicole, when we were just doing some general stuff, even if you buy something from Lowe's, pick it up at the store because then at least we get the local sales tax.
Yeah.
So you have to pick your battle. You have to pick your battles with local.
Absolutely. Yeah, 8 for me. And then this is the last one.
I'm gonna go with the 0. I don't like buying anything.
No, but that's so interesting. Yeah.
Like, I had a car that I was just selling. I didn't even think about approaching to any of my friends to because what if it broke down or what if this happened? What if it went wrong?
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, it makes sense.
Like that. I don't like damaging a relationship over something, over anything.
Oh, that's a really good point. What about
Not
you,
even
Jordan?
close to being worth it for me.
I'm gonna go with a 1 because it's not it's nice having so it's nice having that small connection of, oh wow, thanks a lot, you helped me out. But at the same time, if something happens where there's an issue with a product, and then it could create tension and your friendship could kind of go down. You know what I mean?
Any case scenario where you sell or buy something from a friend I feel like there's always gonna be something wrong with it. If they give it to you at a really good price, then you're gonna feel like you owe them something, or they're gonna feel like, oh, they only gave that to you because they're your friend. If you get it at a higher price, they're gonna be like, well, did they just rip me off? Did they just, take my money? Or they?
That's true.
I just don't think there's a lot of good that can come out of that situation. Maybe
so interesting.
Maybe very specific circumstances, but in most, I would say absolutely 0.
Yeah. What about you, Liz?
I'm going to say, can I do a negative number?
Because, wow. Okay.
I agree with everything that Jordan and Zach said. And I want to add that, you know what? I've never been invited to a Pampered Chef party. And there's a reason for that, because I don't brook that kind of stuff. I don't want to go to Pampered Chef. And then they'll have my email forever.
And they inundate you with emails after that and say, oh, why did you become an independent consultant for it? Or become, why do you hold a party next time? No, they literally do.
MLM, it's
a company.
Yeah. MLM's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just thinking my friend is a coffee roaster and I buy my coffee from her because she does a really nice job. I was going to put it as 6. For myself, because I like to support my friend's business because I'm a business owner, but your insights were so that makes so much sense to me as well. So, but yeah, I appreciate your perspective. Liz, is there anything you want to ask these guys before we sign off today? Anything that I didn't cover in my very intrusive questions?
Well, no, but I have a Gen Z daughter, so she's 24. I have a really good insight into Gen Z, and I'm only going to say, you guys keep being you, and you can change the world. You know what? I'm a older Gen ex young baby boomer cusper, and I'm not old enough to have been among the first women in the workplace or that kind of thing. But that generation made incredible strides. You guys are too, and you should keep on being yourselves and being authentic and true to what you want, because you've already changed between you and the pandemic, the workplace has changed. So keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for your insights and your opinions. We really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for watching. If you like this sort of content, check out the playlists that are on YouTube as well as Facebook if you want to check out past episodes of this Marketing Monday series. And you can tune in next week for more marketing. Also on Monday.
Some sort of marketing. We'd be lying if we said we had a plan, but that's okay because
we have a list of ideas. So we're going to pull one after this one. All right. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks, Zach and Jordan, for participating, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Thanks, Nicole. See you guys later.